Here we go. This promises to be a raucous atmosphere at Foster Pavilion. Campbell wins the tap against Camp Carr. AJ Dybantsa controls, and off we go from Waco. And Rob Wright, the former Baylor guard, will be booed all night by the locals here at Foster Pavilion. 20 a game for the Tennessee transfer. A lot of 5 out from Baylor. Carr will pull from deep, and he buries one and does make it count. See the starters for BYU. We mentioned the top trio for them in the country, and then they want more from the interior, so that's a good start from Kebakeda.
And here you see the first possession there. Agbim, not really enough ball pressure. Isaac Williams gets caught in front, and that's an easy 2 points.
Good start for the senior from Mali, who had only scored 8 points total the last 2 games. Saunders got it from Dybantsa.
Good defender, but they need his offense. They need him to make some shots. He has struggled from 3 in the last 7 games.
Rob Wright buries a 3 in front of the Baylor bench and turns around to the student section.
One, they're really tight off the court, and that helps you be in sync on the court between Dybantsa and Robert Wright.
Yesufu loves that spot. He gave it back out for Agbim, and he sticks a 3.
Okay, Obi Agbim, he's a 3-point shooter. If you're Kennard Davis, you have to have a sense of urgency and get all the way to his body. Yeah, and he's been on a tear as of late, 16 points per game and 36% from 3 in the last 5.
Wright missed it in close. He told us he challenged everyone on the team before that game on Saturday. Dybantsa missed it in close, got his own miss. Banging down low, and he does so many up fakes so well. Got it there on Carr. Uses Dybantsa. 30 a game for him in the last 5. He gets to the mid-range where he's so vicious.
Yeah, and that's his spot.
Yesufu on the right block. Spinning to the baseline jumper. Powell cleans up the Saunders miss, and then Wright ripped it right back and scores.
Wright just being active around the basketball. Gets that steal, the hands, and then the quick lay-in. You got to chin that basketball, big fella.
A theft from Rob Wright in his return. Powell foul, +1. Side of the backboard there and cleared by Carr. He gets out and runs with Yesufu, and another turnover for Baylor. And they went off the official, so it stayed in play, and then Powell fouls Wright.
That's a crazy play. So they had given up on the play, but it's the official who stays in.
Hey now.
And then actually a very smart play by Powell to stop the break there and give that foul right across half court.
Yeah, you see both of them thought it was out. Derek George, to his credit, he tried to get out of the way. Said yesterday when they came in practice, he saw a lot of familiar faces with managers who he was close with on the Baylor staff last year. Dybantsa getting to his spot again at that Big 12 logo.
He told Robert Wright to clear out from the top of the key to give him space to operate, to be able to get to the elbow there, and then he gets to his spot with ease.
Carr off the shot fake, nice touch.
Great job by Cameron Carr. Man, and he really excelled against some of the top players in all of college basketball, including Tunde, his teammate Tunde Yesufu was there, and that's a little bit too easy for Saunders.
Isaac Williams at the controls. Here's Carr driving on Wright all the way to the cup. BYU out in transition with Saunders with the left hand, well defended by Isaac Williams.
Not surrendering at the rim by Isaac Williams.
Kick to the corner for Carr, and he knocks it down. He's got 10. Baylor's made its last 7, and Dybantsa answers, and he's up to an early 8. I've seen so much of that from Dybantsa recently. Yesufu loves these tough fallaways, and he got it to go. Williams back out for Yesufu. 31% this year from 3. Got to the mid-range. A lot better there.
Or through his shoulders. Like if you go stand next to Tunde Yesufu, he doesn't look like a freshman.
Foul goes against BYU on the screen set by Abdullah Ahmed. Williams off the bounce. Found the cutter, and Ratai missed it. Powell the offensive rebound. Yesufu got blocked by Ahmed. Dybantsa in transition is fouled by Camp Carr.
Well, here's a great block there, just staying solid, Ahmed. Sometimes you can just be big right, without fouling. Good job by Ahmed. That leads to the transition opportunity, and then Cameron Carr stops it before AJ Dybantsa can get the dunk. That is a point of emphasis this year in college basketball for more continuation. But Dybantsa, he said, it doesn't matter. Just give me the ball off the baseline out of bounds in the ISO, and I'll just rise up and score. Don't worry, Coach, I got you.
10 early for AJ Dybantsa.
How fun is it to have somebody that good on your team?
Oh, Carr, rise and fire.
Scott Drew feels the same about having Cameron Carr, having somebody that good on your team.
Darian Mensah from Duke to Miami in the college football world, somewhat similar to that. Dybantsa got it from Wright in transition.
Great job by Robert Wright there to get his eyes up the floor and find his partner.
So that's with intensity, with physicality defensively?
Yeah, and then just playing smart, playing harder, having your compete level go up.
Big block from Carr, rising up on Keita. Yesufu in transition. Missed it. BYU looking for a trap on Yesufu, who escapes.
There you see some of that aggressiveness right there with the trap in the corner.
Turnover here from Baylor. Wright pushes, Wright finishes. Middle of the floor initiating off the high ball screen. Got the switch. Dybantsa to the basket, gets it to go.
How good is that guy? So you can use him in so many different ways, okay? To the basketball world.
I love it. Yesufu with a nice finish. Stops a 7-0 run for BYU, so that was much needed for Baylor.
Now, if you're BYU, I think you got to get Saunders involved before this half is over. He is as important of a piece for BYU to win games as anybody.
Right now, it's all Dybantsa. He's got 16 on 8 of 11 shooting. 5-point game, late shot clock for Yesufu. Got the switch from Keita. Step back, got Keita in the air, and gets 3 at the line.
Said he learned all the bad words first from his high school teammates.
Told us that just had a dream to come here. Rob Wright cans a 3, and Rob Wright has come up to play as well. He's got 11.
A McDonald's All-American that's going to Missouri, so he didn't get to hold it for long. But to go from Benin, Africa, to the all-time leading scorer in the history of high school California high school basketball.
Left it short. Wright the rebound. BYU down 7 in transition. Wright stayed patient. Nice step through.
There's the pivots that I'm talking about. So smart for a smaller guard.
Both teams in desperate need of a win. Right to the basket, and BYU's got the lead.
Man, how good and how comfortable has he been in the first half?
Tunde Yesufu had 18. He drops it off for Caden Powell for 2.
Good opening set by Coach Drew.
Dybantsa initiates off the wing. Gets the switch from Powell. Drives on Powell! Oh! Air AJ takes off.
Even before this play started, okay, he runs a little Iverson cut, but he had the 2 BYU players that were at the elbows flip spots just so he could get the matchup that he wanted, and then he punishes the rim. I don't know if we'll have a chance to go back a little bit further to the start of that play, but he manufactured that whole thing right there.
Really impressive. Offensive rebound. Yesufu, what a find for Caden Powell. Yesufu can't stop smiling as he was hanging in the air when he fired that pass. Dybantsa, oh, he spins one home.
Come on, man.
What can't he do?
Nearly gets shut off. Look, the hesitation, the crossover. Look how low he gets. Then the physicality that he plays with.
Second half in a game that has delighted. Obi Agman had it blocked by Hadim Boop. Kicked around. It looked like that might have been a kick ball. And maybe a carry there on Boop.
Well, BYU's made an adjustment. They've gone small. Okay, Boop is essentially the 5. Maybe Dybantsa is the 4-man, and they can be 1 through 5 switching defensively.
Right at the rim gets the roll.
Well, you got to be more active, like in your some slips to the rim. Okay, quick decisions there. Not a quick decision holding the ball, and Saunders takes advantage.
And lays it in. Took it from Carr. So it's a switch from Boop. Again, he's the biggest guy at 6'9", like Dybantsa. To the corner for Carr, and that's blocked by Saunders. Dybantsa outrunning. Davis with him, and Davis lays it in. So it's a switch from Boop. Again, he's the biggest guy at 6'9", like Dybantsa. To the corner for Carr, and that's blocked by Saunders. Dybantsa outrunning. Davis with him, and Davis lays it in. Kevin Young talked to him about it. Kevin Young said, hey, he's laid back. He's an even-keeled guy. I don't think it's going to bother him here tonight. Doesn't look like it has.
No, it really hasn't. And it usually can go either way. But Robert Wright has played cool, calm, and collected all night and been a huge factor for the Cougars.
Davis underneath, got Carr in the air, playing with those 3 fouls.
Yesufu has to give that ball up. He's got Isaac Williams wide open in the corner and totally missed him.
Wright goes spinning on Agnew, too strong, and Boop cleans it up. Saunders navigating to the basket for 2.
That's just too easy. Okay, Saunders brings that ball up the right side floor, no resistance.
Yesufu backs it out, late shot clock, Rattai's got the ball, got to get it up, and spins it out. Offensive rebound, Caden Powell. Backing down on Keita, scored and a foul.
Coach Kevin Young not happy with Keita, and I think he's going to take him out of the game, giving up that defensive rebound. But you just can't get pushed under. Keita's looking at the rim instead of riding his guy out, using his lower body to create some space and get that rebound. Then he doesn't even really jump for it, and now he's going to have a seat on the bench, and they go back to Boot with the smaller lineup.
Dybantsa backed it out for Wright. Working on Agnew, playing off 2 feet nicely.
So good.
Wright's up to 19 points. Baylor in search of an answer. Yesufu rises, and he buries the 3. Baylor's been 14% zone this year. They'll sprinkle it in throughout games. Wright for Dybantsa, rise and fire. Spins one home. First 3 of the night for AJ Dybantsa. Rattai has Wright on him on the block. Shot clock winding down on Williams. Needed somewhere to go, and he turned it over. Dybantsa for Wright. Wright on the drive. Oh, he scoops it up!
BYU has done a good job of controlling the game offensively, especially this guy right here, him and Robert Wright.
Mihailo Bošković with a right hand over his left shoulder. Obi Agnew wide right. Naji the offensive rebound, and then he lost it on the takedown. Robert Wright in transition, staying patient, scoring 2 more, and then he grins to the fans sitting front row.
Well, he's just living in the paint. That's almost his new address today.
See Rob Wright up to 23. AJ Dybantsa's got 26. Yesufu, mid-range, got it. Super impressive from the likes of Council and Badunga for Bill Self's team. Yesufu with a big 3. Dybantsa gets it to go and a foul.
How good is this guy? This is so fun. Look at the high pickup right there. And at 6'9", 6'10", doesn't have to bring the ball down. That takes some real strength. Look at that high pickup. Takes the contact. Finishing at the rim.
Can't hit the 3. Wright the rebound. BYU by 9, approaching 8 to go. Saunders in transition. He lost it, but he gets fouled. Second foul on Yesufu.
Yeah, that's a good call. Gets him with his left leg, kind of clips him as he's driving.
Got to do it to slow down BYU if they want to win this here at home. Saunders on the drive on the reverse.
So good. Low man wins the war.
Cam Carr trying to get it to Yesufu, who's got the smaller right on him. Instead, Williams drives. Great job to score it around Boop. Wright got the switch from Carr. Wright goes spinning, playing off 2 feet. It's blocked by Carr. Wright scores it, and a foul. Yesufu secures it. He runs with Carr. Wants the lob. Too hot to handle. Hard fall for Carr. Slow to get up behind the play. BYU with numbers. Right up top from Dybantsa. BYU looking for a kill shot. Dybantsa on the drive, no. Offensive rebound, Mo Davis and a foul. Baylor's been outscored by 17 in the second half. Williams, tough shot, got it to go.
I like Williams. He's going to have a good career here. But he bought it for the staff. And what that meant to some of these staff members is not to be underrated.
Agbim sticks a three. Baylor can't hit from three. They would love to get him going down the stretch, shooting the basketball. Agbim pulls again. Follow from Yesufu. You see only 3 turnovers for BYU. Dybantsa to the basket. He's got 34.
Well, that can't happen. That speaks specifically to what I just mentioned. You see how big that driving lane and gap was? That's just an ISO situation, and there's no help from anybody on the Baylor Bears. Yesufu's just out there on an island.
Agbim kept it alive. Michael Ratai gets it to go. 12-point game. Just inside of 3 to go, and Wright turns it over. Yesufu scores it and a foul. Not done yet in Waco.
How about that play from Tunde Yesufu? It's multiple Cougar defenders. Great job by Ratai to not foul there. And then Yesufu comes as the trailer, initiates some contact, takes the bump, and the basket.
6'9" on 6'3". Dybantsa rises. Too strong. Saunders the offensive rebound.
Again, don't have to play this possession out. Don't have to play the foul game yet.
Instead, Williams commits the foul on Robert Wright after 11 seconds had already been burned on that possession. Still only down by 7. Williams on the drive. He goes spinning to the basket, and he'll get 2 at the line. 3 minutes and 18 seconds to go. It's down to 5 as Agbim commits a foul on Mo Davis. Williams searching. A lot of time coming off here for Baylor. 10 seconds have come off. It's Cam Carr to the basket, and he got fouled.
Okay, they haven't felt rushed or panicked. A lot of times in these situations, young players, they just want to jack up contested threes because they think that's what you need, but sometimes you can just walk the game down.
Down to a 4-point game, 25.7 to go. Quickly into Wright before Baylor set up. Agbim didn't foul. And then finally, Yesufu commits the foul. 21.5 ticks to go. Wright returns on some substitution protocol.
They wanted more size on the court.
21 seconds for Baylor down 6. Williams in a hurry to the basket, attacking again. 5 seconds came off the clock. Nobody finds Dybantsa. Look out! It rolls home. Nearly a disaster for Dybantsa. Final 10 seconds, still a half dozen, and Carr scores it, no foul. 5.4 to go. Davis is fouled with 4.6 remaining.
Offensively, they can hang with anybody in the country. It's going to be the commitment on a game-to-game basis on the defensive end that will determine how well BYU season ends.
Cam Carr pulls, and that does it. BYU comes into Waco, puts up 99, and exits with a victory over Baylor.